Hello everybody, welcome to another Eternal Deck Tech. Sorry the video is a little bit late this week, but there's a good reason for it. Set 5 has finally released. So I'm super excited about this. I've been brewing up decks all day and trying to get this out as fast as possible so you can try and check out some of the new things that are happening. There are so many new mechanics, it's going to take me weeks to go through all of the different decks that I want to build. But I wanted to start with one after a bit of brewing that I'm going to be calling Relic with my Lifesteal Memes. The reason being that it's rat in a cage. So, oh man, I'm excited for this card. The minute I saw Rat Cage, I knew I had to do something with it. It just feels like there's way too many cool synergies you can do with it. So, Rat Cage is when you play a relic, including the Rat Cage itself, you play a 1/1 rat that can't block. Okay, so 1/1 can't block rat for 1. It's already, like, not super miserable. I mean, it does get a 1/1 for 1 already, so that's something. Now, what do we do with that? Well, if you didn't look at all of the spoilers, there are a lot of cards that work with relics in this new set. So we have added in a ton of old relics and a little bit of new hotness to kind of get this thing going. What's fun about this deck is that we actually only need 4 different cards that are from the new set. Oh, sorry, 5, I guess, if you include the market. So there's really not a lot to actually have to build, and so it's really, really cheap. None of them are rares, and none of them are legends. So if you want to try this deck out, it's cheap, easy to build, really, really kind of neat idea. So what we're trying to do is you've got Cabal Scavenger. So when you play a relic, or sorry, Cabal Plunder. Wait, that's, interesting. I thought that I missaid that, but it's actually just mistyped. Well, there we go. We found something new. It's called Cabal Scavenger, but it's also referenced as Cabal Plunderer. In any case, when you play a relic, it deals 1 damage to the enemy player. So, again, combos with Rat Cage, but then we're like, well, wait, deals damage, lifesteal. Hey, what's another relic that goes with all of these relic shenanigans that works with lifesteal? And it's my favorite, Mask of Torment. So you can use that to just kind of combo back and forth. You play a Cabal Scavenger into Mask of Torment into Rat Cage, and you just start popping off a whole bunch of extra little creatures and a bunch of power. So you get a bunch of units and a bunch of power off of that. Then we have Lethrai Courtier, which is another new card. When you play a relic, draw the top power card of your deck. So another good way to just thin our deck out, get a ton of extra cards for us to like merchant away, or just to return our Ephemeral Wisps and keep drawing extra cards. There's all kinds of cool things that we can do with that. We want a lot of power because we've got things like Moondial going on here. We have Vault of the Praxis, so we can draw a lot of extra cards. So anyways, that's a nice little addition as well from the new set. And then the last card in the main deck from the new set is Sadistic Ritualist. So it's a pledge card. If you don't know what pledge is, it means that if it's in your opening hand, you can play it as a power card instead. So it can be played as a sigil. And that's either color. So it can either be a time sigil or a shadow sigil. And then it also has the ability of pay 2 exhaust Sadistic Ritualist and sacrifice another unit to draw a card. So something to do with all of our extra rats and something to do with Ephemeral Wisp. So what exactly does this deck do? Well, we've talked a little bit about like the synergy of Rat Cage, Mask of Torment, Cabal Scavenger, but then you also have a lot of other just little synergies. It's just a pile of really synergistic cards. So obviously Sadistic Ritualist does a lot of good sacrifices with Ephemeral Wisp and with the Rat Cages. We have Devours and Last Rites to take advantage of that as well, so we can just constantly sacrifice creatures and draw cards. Since we're sacrificing so many things, we've got Madnesses as ways to remove opponents' creatures. We have a lot of units that come into play for free with Rat Cage and Ephemeral Wisp, so we use Vault of the Praxis. So whenever you play your second unit in a turn, draw a card. That's important, by the way. It's not your turn. Most things say when you play a second unit on your turn, or when you do this on your turn. Vault of the Praxis is one of the exceptions, and it's kind of cool because you can do things like Last Rites to sacrifice an Ephemeral Wisp at the end of your opponent's turn. get a power card back, and maybe get 2 Ephemeral Wisps back out of your void, and kaboom, you immediately get a draw off of Vault of the Praxis. Just something to remember. There's little tricks like that you can do. Not a lot, but a couple here and there. You also have Miris Nightshade is one that you might not think of. I actually looked at putting in Teacher of Humility as well, because they play relics. This is a relic. When you play Nyctophobia, that's a relic that you're playing on the opponent. So you can trigger your Cabal Scavenger, you trigger your Lethrai Courtier, you can trigger your Rat Cages, all of those kinds of things work off of Nyctophobia, and so that's kind of a cool little combo here as well, and it's a nice little aggressive creature as well. So you can do the long game, kind of just go for lots and lots of value, Rat Cages, gain a billion power, draw a ton of cards off of Vault of the Praxis, Moondial, all those shenanigans. You can also sometimes just end up burning your opponent out and just going absolutely insane aggro. I had a game that I was playing earlier where I got 3 Rat Cages and then into a Xenan Obelisk. So I just went turn 1 Rat Cage, turn 2, 2 Rat Cages, turn 3, 3 Rat Cages, and so I had 6 rats by turn 3, and then I immediately followed up with Xenan Obelisk and just beat my opponent to death. That's not going to be super common, but there's cool things like that you can do as well. A lot of the times what ends up happening is you just grind your opponent down because you've got so many ways to draw so many extra cards, and you've got like some really cool endgame stuff in your market. You obviously can ultimate Masks of Torment and just smash them that way, but Xenan Obelisk tends to make your board very, very large, and you just regenerate infinite rats every single turn, as well as, you know, being able to do like Unraveler of Destinies to draw a bunch of cards, gain a bunch of life, or Azindel. And Azindel, by the way, with Cabal Scavenger is real fun, because whenever you play a relic, it deals damage. Whenever it deals damage, you get to draw cards off your opponent's deck. There's a lot of games where when you start to go off, you'll just be discarding extra cards. So I'm not sure how well it'll work in the new meta. I mean, obviously things are going to be really, really shaken up. We're in Masters, but we're going to jump in there and take it for a bit of a spin and see how things go.